Thank you everyone for joining. It's appreciate. Thank you for joining the webinar for RBS Intellect and supported by Derek Jones Immigration. Giving a brief background on what we are, where we are, and what we're doing. So today's webinar is about study and residence pathway options in New Zealand. It'll be good to see what happened, how things are going, and what has happened in the last 1 year after the borders have opened in New Zealand. So, about for the today's speakers, I'll update about myself and Anosh. I am in this industry for nearly 2 decades. Been in my journey, we have gone through around 16,000 odd students to New Zealand in multiple roles. I've been into running as an institution, running as an agency, running as a counselor. Been a lot have been done in the past. What I'll do, I'll give it about Anosh to talk about, to introduce himself. Anosh, over to you.
Yeah, good afternoon. And I think in India it's good afternoon. In Nepal it'll be a little bit different. In Sri Lanka, pretty much same as India. All right. Nice to meet you all. I cannot see any one of you in this particular presentation, but I presume there's around 50-40 people already on the webinar. So myself, I'm a licensed immigration advisor. I'm licensed by the Immigration Advisors Authority, and I'm a New Zealand citizen as well. I've been in New Zealand since last 10 years, and I came to New Zealand as a student, just like you guys, in 2014. So my goal was to basically be successful and also make a living. It was simple. It was just migrate to New Zealand and make a living. Simple as that. Then later on, I set my goals a bit more up, and I wanted to do a bit more different in terms of what I am actually trying to do. I'm an electrical and electronics engineer by profession, and I came to New Zealand to study business. Once I finished my studies, I worked in the telecommunication area for a couple of years. Then I worked for Civil Aviation Authority for around 4 years, which is a New Zealand government authority. But I wasn't really satisfied on any of these jobs. Wasn't the right job, which I really wanted to do. I always wanted to support and help migrants in New Zealand. Also to uplift a lot of students who wants to create a career in New Zealand, and that's the reason why I've been working with a lot of different agents and companies who are hiring students into for a New Zealand study, and also migrants who wish to secure a better future. Then I thought, why can't I do it?
Sure. I think Anosh, I'll be timing everything here to just a basic introduction, because we'll be talking more details on that. But
okay, cool.
Anosh, yeah. So idea that, guys, Anosh will be talking about all the immigration questions, and I'll be adding toward the student questions on this. So Anosh, we'll be starting because ideas that to go in. So guys, just to give you a heads up why New Zealand, why we're choosing, and I know you've given the passion about Anosh. It started pretty strong on that. The idea is that it's a country which again we've been supporting. It's nearly 2 decades I've been supporting New Zealand too. So giving around that, why New Zealand, what's the reason, what's the benefit? New Zealand is one of the safest country, we call it the safe and peaceful country in the world. Excellent education system. We have around 8 universities all are in top 500, and we have around, say, it's one big polytechnic, but it's 16 sub-units are there, which is TAFE or polytechnics in New Zealand. And then we have hundreds of about 100 PTEs which are actively promoting an international market. And the idea of New Zealand is to see that how there can be a good journey for a student from becoming a pathway to New Zealand, or if they want to go back to their home country, what they take from the country back again. Going back, a lot of people, I believe you guys know because you've been joining the session, New Zealand is a bit, it's on the eastern, say, southeastern side of Australia. We are technically around, if I say 18 to 19 hours away flight from India, Nepal, or most of the Asian countries. Now, technically, it's a land. The destination is not connected with any land, so it's kind of a bit of safe haven to come in. But then around New Zealand, there are multiple Pacific Island countries, and Australia is the biggest country next to us. Indirectly, if you say from India, it's a flight of 18 hours with a stopover at Singapore, Thailand, or you want to go through Dubai, you can go through Australia. So there are multiple areas to go in. Now, just want to give a brief before we go in deep dive into the residence pathway or immigration side. Universities, there are 8 universities. They are kind of strategically located in most across the country. There are 4 major universities are based out of North Ireland, then there are sub-units there. Then we have 3 major universities based out of South Ireland. Technically, every student or every person can see that every region can have a different type of outcomes and courses. But end of the day, there are 4,500 courses offered by the CAT universities. The good part is that you name it, you have the options available. It's the only thing that the criteria and the options are very different from what you are seeing various in US, UK, Canada, or Australia. There are different requirements, but again, the education system is based on the British education system, which is much likely what similar you see in India too. Apart from universities, we have a common provider called Tipukinga, which is we call as a polytechnique or a TAFE provider like Australia. There are 16 business units in that, and then there are 8 non-business units which are not recruiting international students. So ideally, this whole sector of Tipukinga is basically it is vocational courses, which can be a more of the hands-on or practical courses are offered with Tipukinga, and there are students who join to this hands-on and training courses also. Now, again, there are 35,000 students. It's not a small institution. It is one of the top 5 in terms of numbers institution around the world when we talk about Tipukinga as a sector. Now, it's a Maori name. The actual name is New Zealand Institute of Skills and Technology, but we locally call it the Tipukinga. Now, apart from that, there are major PTEs who offer bachelor's and master's. Now, compared to all other countries, what New Zealand offers is that in New Zealand, private institutions can offer a master's also, and they can recruit students from international too. There is not any kind of foundation that they can't come to New Zealand. So the differentiation is that they are privately owned, whereas compared to polytechnic or university, they are government owned and funded. Whereas private institutions are privately owned but government funded also. And there are decent size of private institutions. We have mentioned the name of a couple of major ones which offer bachelor's and master's program, but then there are a lot of programs and options available. Now, giving a brief on the education system, in New Zealand, we call as a levels of education. Now, ideally, levels start from level 1 to level 10. From a perspective, when we come from your home country, which is in South Asia or even ASEAN countries, level 5 is equivalent to your first year of bachelor's. Level 6 is second year bachelor's or a 2-year diploma. Level 7 is a bachelor's qualification, can be a 3-year bachelor's, can be a 2-year bachelor's, or can be a 1-year bachelor's. Now, level 8 is a postgraduate diploma certificate option, which is again similar to what we have in kind of Asian countries, where India, Nepal, or Sri Lanka. We talk about level 8 is first year of master's also. Level 9 is a master's degree, which is a 2-year qualification, and level 10 is a PhD or a doctoral degree. Now, it can range from 3 years to 6 years. That's how we go in. Coming down to the post-study work option. Now, we will keep it short and simple. We'll not deep dive into universities and courses, but I like to have those questions in our Q&A session, which I can see a lot of questions are coming in. Please start adding more questions on that. Now, on the program, the options, what New Zealand have done, New Zealand have redesigned their work visa options since 2022. What they said, if you're coming for a 1-year bachelor's, you will get a 1-year post-study work right. Now, if you're coming for a 3-year bachelor's, you get a 3-year post-study work right. If you go for a 1-year postgraduate diploma, it's a 1-year post-study work right. The biggest benefit what everyone got was that when you do 1 year or 2 year of masters, you end up getting 3-year post-study work right. Now, do remember that these are things very important. One major change what also New Zealand did was that they actually removed post-study work right from a non-degree qualification, except the green list qualifications. Now, these green lists we'll talk more in detail in our next slides. This is basically the skill shortage area. And if you are studying any qualification in a skill shortage area, which is a diploma, 1 year or 2 year, you will get a similar amount of post-study work right. Now, we will talk about the questions if you have about this later part of the day. But again, we can do individual consultation with our team members across when you'll be finishing the webinar. Now, while we're jumping into residence pathway, and I'll be handing over this to Anosh here to explain and go through, because ideally we're talking about immigration, and that's where Anosh will come in. We can talk through it, but ideally we want to make sure that our licensed advisor will be talking through on those things. Over to you, Anush. Let me know when
Uh,
to move the slide next.
Thank you, Bharat. I'll just quickly continue with what I was about to say. Right. So, my passion was to create services and also create a support for students and migrants in New Zealand. The best way to do is basically, get licensed under the Immigration Advisors Authority and provided all those advices legally in New Zealand. All right. So in this case, what I'm going to discuss today is the residence pathway for students and also anyone who is working in New Zealand. And from the questions which you have already typed in, I can see there is a few people who are looking at study pathway, and there are a few people who are looking at other pathways. We'll cover all those details in this webinar. So what are the skilled residence pathways? Ideally, for a student, when you come to New Zealand on a student visa, there are chances for you to get a stay back or a post-study work visa after the completion of the program. As Bharat has said, for a level 7, you get the exact duration of the program as a stay back. Level 8, level 9, you get different types of stay back limits. But that's a temporary visa which you are going to get. It's not a permanent visa. You need to keep renewing every 2 years or 3 years, depending on the duration of the visa, post-study visa which you're getting. For example, if you're studying masters, you get 3 years stay back, which is 3 years post-study work visa, which is an open work permit. You can work under any employer for any wages, and that's fine. Right. So in this case, what happens after the 3 years? That's what you need to know, right? So for Immigration New Zealand, they have designed a clear pathway for residents for skilled migrants. I'll repeat that name, for skilled migrants in New Zealand, right? For skilled migrants, there is definitely a pathway towards residency. The 3 categories which I'm going to talk about is SMC, which is called a skilled migrant resident pathway. And the second one is this green list pathway, which is straight to residence visa or work to residence visa. And the last thing is care workforce or transfer sector agreements pathways, which is also considered as a work to residence pathway. Right. So next slide, please. Right. So this is the main chart which I will be discussing with regards to explaining SMC, skilled migrant residence category. And the maximum point which you need to get is 6 point. Right. Back in the old days, it was 170 points or 180 points. There was a point system, but they changed everything into a different format, which has came into power from October. And now we are looking at a new system which only has 6 points in total, and you require 6 points to go for residence. Right. So in that case, we'll explain those details in the slide again, because I have seen the presentation. It comes into detail later. Right. So now green list pathways. In a green list pathway, there is 2 types of occupations on a green list. One is Tier 1 occupation, and the second is Tier 2 occupation. If you are working or studying a program under Tier 1 green list, if you get a job offer, you can go for straight to residence. Right, the name itself means it, straight to residence. You don't have, there is no waiting, straight to residence. Last time when I applied for a straight to residence visa for a nurse, it took only 72 hours to get approval in principle. Right, it is that quick. Immigration New Zealand prioritized straight to residence visa. It's a fast-tracked residence category. The next thing is a Tier 2 residence category, which is called work to residence. If your occupation or the future occupation falls under Tier 2 occupation, then you need to work under that occupation for 2 years to go for residence, right? So you need to wait for 2 years under that particular employment and then go for residence. Next one, please.
Yeah, can I just add on that is that, guys, we will be talking about Tier 1 and Tier 2. Example of Tier 1, which Anush has given, is nursing. Tier 2 example is a teaching qualification or a teaching pathway.
Right. So what is a green list? So this is something which I get, I've been asked this question at least 1 million times in the last couple of months. What is green list? It's pretty simple. Back in the old days, they used to say long-term skill shortage list. It is the exact same list being redesigned into a new one called green list. So the main idea behind creating a green list is to attract skilled migrants into New Zealand. And Immigration New Zealand wants to prioritize the occupations which are on high demand for residence pathway. So we get enough skills into this country. For example, IT roles, nursing roles, health sectors, engineering roles. There are a lot of roles on tier 1 occupation. Then when we can look into tier 2, which has different occupation. For example, I think in tier 2 we have support workers and not support workers. I'll go through it in the list because it's a huge list. If you look at it, this is the tier 1 occupation. If you can see that clinical dental technician, there's a physiotherapy, social worker, speech language therapist, a nursing practitioner, nurse, registered nurse, then ICT managers, which is software analysts, programmers, civil engineers, mechanical engineers, electronics, electrical engineers. That's all coming under tier 1 green list. If you require to have a look at tier 1 green list, we are happy to provide you a copy of it.
No, we will be sending the details and everything, Manoj, just to add on that. Yeah.
Right.
So this is a mix of tier 1 and tier 2 to this list.
Yeah. Later on, we will see a little bit about tier 2 occupations. There's only maybe less than 20 occupations on tier 2. Most of the occupations are luckily on tier 1, which is good. Right. Next one, please. Right. Okay. So skilled migrant pathway. That's exact same sheet which I was going to explain to you in a couple of minutes. For a skilled migrant pathway, the total points which you require to go for residence is 6 points. If you achieve 6 points, if you have an acceptable job or job offer, you can go for residence, right? So how can you gain 6 points? This is the most important question, which a lot of people ask. How can I gain 6 points? It's pretty simple. If you plan your career in the right way, you can achieve 6 points easily. For example, PhD, you get 6 points. But a lot of people won't be going from bachelor's to PhD because you need to study master's, then PhD. It is a pathway. But for master's, you get 4 points.
Yeah. So Manoj will be covering all the things. Yeah, here you go.
So we have the point system in front of you. So please have a look at it so you'll understand more when I give the details. Right. So 6 points. You go for skilled migrant category residence pathway. So for example, a New Zealand registration in a specific occupation which requires 6 years of training or a PhD degree, or if you are paid 3 times of the median wage. The median wage is going to be $30 plus by February. I think it's around 31.21. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's 31.221. Right now it is 29.66, which is the current median wage. So if you look at it, 3 times the median wage is 3 into 29.66. If you're paid that, you get 6 points, you can go for residence. And the next thing is if you're having a master's degree.
Yeah, we'll be going on that. So it'll be detailed coming in.
All right.
So I think, yeah.
All right. So if you are planning to study masters, last time I just got a bit confused. I said 4 points. It is wrong. It is 5 points. So if you are going to study masters, you get 5 points, and also you require 1 year of skilled employment in New Zealand. Right. If you have a master's degree and if you have 1 year of experience, you can go for residence. The total points which you require is 6 points. The best way to achieve it is basically study masters. You get 5 points, and after 1 year you get 1 point for the work experience. Then you go for residence. This pathway is taken by a lot of students who wish to have a 3-year stay back, who wish to have 5 points, who wish to bring their family and kids. So see, studying masters is like a package. It's a package deal. You basically get everything on it. You have a pathway to residence. You can bring your family. Your partner will get up to a post-study work, not post-study, a partnership work visa, which is open. He or she can work under any employer on any wage, and kids can study school for free, and then they have a pathway to residence. And I think Bharat wants to add something on to it.
Yeah, I was just adding that, guys. Just remember that masters, for certain qualifications, certain occupations, you may need to have a qualification which allows them to register. So example, for nursing, you need a CAP program, which is a 12-week program. For teaching, you need a teaching qualification, because every master's may not give you the teaching qualification as a registration pathway. But yes, like Anush said, master's is kindly qualification, or currently the qualification which is more popular route for a family migration or family pathway. And we'll talk about that family pathways and family visas also in our Q&A. I can see a lot of questions are coming, but please add more questions, guys. It'll be helpful. Now, what we are doing is that we're going from a point system, whereas, like I know said, 6 points you need. PhD gives 6 points straightforward. If you're going for a PhD, you're going actually a direct pathway option. Coming down to a 5 point, which is a master's qualification. Now, when we go to a postgraduate diploma, and over to you, Anosh, how we go there and then what we start in.
All right. So if you are going to study honors degree or postgraduate diploma, you get 4 points. And how to gain the other 2 points? Basically, work for 2 years under the particular employment. Then you get 6 points, and you go for straight to you can apply for skilled migrant category application. And for postgraduate diploma programs, not this is also an easy pathway to create a better career and also a residence pathway for you. So if you look at it, if you don't want to study masters, you can choose a postgraduate diploma program and also grab a job offer and start and work for 2 years at the medium wage, and you can apply for residence.
Yeah, right. And like adding to that is that the difference of why we've kept a postgraduate here, or why there's, because a lot of people don't want to do a master's qualification due to the cost also. So guys, just remember that cost is also something which will make a bit of change things. If you're talking about a master's, will be ranging between $30,000 to $40,000 or $45,000 for a year. But normally masters are 1.5 year or 2 year. It may end up into $55,000 to $60,000 for 2 years. Whereas postgraduate diploma can give you entry at a $25,000 onwards, for some cases $21,000 onwards. So it might be a question that what are your financials looking like? The only difference is that if you're coming with a family, master's is a recommended qualification. Postgraduate diploma, you need to wait for the post-study work, right? Is that correct, Anosh?
That's correct.
Over to you, Anosh.
Yeah. Also, if you look at it from an immigration perspective, if you ask me, is studying masters or postgraduate better? I'll always say masters is a bit more better. If you have the money to invest, go for masters. Yeah. Next one, please.
Yeah.
And this is for people who are going to study bachelor's degree program or a postgraduate certificate programs. Even for a student who has just finished the high secondary in India or other countries, they can come into New Zealand and study a bachelor's degree program in engineering, nursing. That particular bachelor's in nursing program, they have a clear pathway to registration. So you get registered after the completion of that particular program. So you don't have to do a CAP, like what Bharat said before. For a master's, sometimes it is not a pathway for registrations. You have to do another program, which is a 3 months program to get a registration. But over here, for a bachelor's of nursing, you get a registration and you have a straight to residence pathway. So I'm not deviating from there to straight to residence. I just want to stick to that particular SMC. Right. So if you're studying a bachelor's degree, you get 3 points. And how can you gain another 3 points is basically simple. 3 years of work experience will gain you 3 years, 3 points, and you can apply for residence. The other category is if you get paid 1.5 times the median wage, which is possible, which is highly possible in New Zealand. 3 times is a bit hard, but 1.5 times, it is very possible. If you get 1.5 times the median wage, also you can get 3 points. And you need to work in that particular employment for another 3 years to go for residence. For example, this is something which a lot of people get it wrong. Imagine you have done a bachelor's degree. You have a 1.5 times median wage. You may think you get 6 points. You don't, right? So this particular instruction says one of them, right? One of them. You can't combine those and accumulate points. You can only choose one of them and grab that 3 points from there. The additional 3 points has to come from work experience. Right. Thank you.
Great. Next. Now, guys, I can see there are 16 questions, but guys, we have another few more slides to go. Please add the question. We'll start question because intentionally we have kept the Q&A session to be more than 30 minutes so that you guys can have a lot of answers from us. Now, coming to you, Anosh, from the career workforce.
Yeah, care workforce and transport sector agreement pathways. So these pathways are basically designed to support. There is a problem in New Zealand. We are finding difficult in terms of getting caregivers or healthcare assistants to support the health sector. Also, for transport sector, we are having difficulty in finding bus drivers, truck drivers. So all those categories require a bit more assistance from Immigration New Zealand. And that's the reason why they have created a sector agreement pathways for residents. Imagine you're working as a caregiver at a level 4 rate for 2 years. Level 4 rate at the moment is $28.25 New Zealand dollars. If you have 28.25 New Zealand dollars for the last 2 years, you can go for residence. And for transport sector, if you are a bus driver or a truck driver, class 4 or 5 license, you can go for residence after the completion of 2 years in that particular employment.
So now, guys, just adding that, the reason I mentioned on this, because there are certain green list qualifications, like example, level 4 qualification or level 5 qualifications, come under the care workforce agreement or sector agreement. So it is just to make sure that even you're studying a 1-year level 4 or level 5 qualifications, which are under the sector agreement, you can apply for a work, and as and when you get a job, you can apply through the pathway towards residence through that sector agreement. But yes, there are certain more questions around that, how that works and where it works.
Okay, that's something which we can answer.
Here you go. Over to you. Just again, we have kept it very simple and straight with the partner of student, what happens there and what they do.
Okay. This area is very important in terms if you are married or if you have a family, if you're looking at migrating to New Zealand as a family, this is something which you have to keep your eyes and ears open, right? So if you want to bring your partner on a work visa or a visitor's visa as a student, it is possible. A lot of student visas doesn't basically support a partnership applications. Right, there are certain categories which do support, for example, a level 7 or 8 qualification which falls under the green list or in the list which is exempt, which is eligible for post-study work visa. That particular programs, you can bring your partner on a work visa, right? All other programs which doesn't, level 7 or level 8 programs which doesn't fall under the green list or eligible post-study work visa list, that particular programs, you can only bring your partner or a visitor's visa. But that's during your study, right? Once you finish your study, if you're not eligible to support your partner, that's fine. In the first year, you bring them on a visitor's visa, keep them with you. And after that, when you go for post-study work visa, you can support your partner. For example, if it's a 1-year program, you can basically support your partner after the 1-year completion of the program. Once you go for a post-study work visa, you can support your partner and kids during that particular time frame. If you are studying a level 7 or level 8 program falling under the green list or eligible to post-study eligible work visa list, you can support your partner on a work visa. The work visa of the partner will be mirroring the duration of your student visa, which means if you're coming on a bachelor's degree 3-year program, for example, let's say mechanical engineering, or let's say nursing, you can't. So that's something which I need to specify.
I will give an example of masters here, Anush. It'll be easier.
Okay.
Because, yeah. So if you're coming for a master's, guys, you come for a master's for 1 year or 2 year. In masters, your spouse will get a work rights. When you get your post-study work right as a student, the spouse will also get the same amount duration of work rights. So effectively, between 4 to 5 years, your partner will get a work right while you are studying and you are on a post-study work right. Is that correct? And on the postgraduate diploma and a bachelor's where they are not eligible, then they are coming on a visitor visa. Now, wherever there is eligible, we will be there and updating you on that. But again, these are the detailed questions we'll be talking about. Please ask your question because that will help us to answer your queries. Otherwise, the operation manual, which Anush goes through kind of every month, will be a lot more, it's a lot bigger and a lot to be answered there.
Yeah. Immigration New Zealand is a moving beast. So they keep on changing the instructions or the policies. The main reason why they keep on changing is because it's actually, they are looking at the demand. of the New Zealand as a whole country. If the demand is, for example, if you require more nurses, more dentists, then they'll put them into priority. So that's what happens in New Zealand, right? So in this case, if you're coming into New Zealand for a master's program, you can bring your partner, your kids. Your partner can get a work visa, which is an open work right. He can work under any employer for any wages. The kids can study school, and they get free access to all education. For example, if your partner, this has happened in New Zealand. I'm just giving you a little bit of a real life example. A student came to New Zealand to study a master's in applied science. So she brought a partner over on a work visa. He's an IT engineer, right? He came into New Zealand, he got an employment, he went straight to residence visa. The entire family got residence during she was studying. And yeah. And this can also happen if you are taking a master's program. If your partner is an eligible person on the green list, he also has a pathway to residence, not just you, right? This particular residence pathway is not created for students, for students. It is created for every single migrant in New Zealand. Even if your partner wants to go for residence, they're more than welcome to do that, right? Right, next one, please.
Great. Now, this is the last slide, guys. Just to add on this is that the students can only study for free when they are on a schooling, not for the university education. So that is age between 5 to 17 or 18, not above that. So we need to make sure that we understand those requirements also, because if you are, example, not getting your residency in 5 years and your son or your daughter is going towards university, then it will be an international student. Do remember that. Yeah. Q&A, and I'll go to Q&A now, and it'll be great because I'll just move the slide back towards our SMC category. It'll be easier to explain and talk about that. So going around, so I'll take the question here from the first question started from Keshav, and I'll go one by one on the number of questions which have been offered. Hi, sir, this is Keshav from Bangalore. I'm currently working as a cloud architect. I'm planning to move to New Zealand. Could you please advise how I can start my journey? Now, guys, whoever is, I think, raising hand, please ask the question. I'll be helping you out on that. Now, I'll be answering the student visa questions. Anosh, you're welcome to jump in into immigration side, and I'll be giving to you that. So, Keshav, yes, we can help you. We have done the bachelor's or you've done master's. We can follow the study pathway. Now, if you're looking for a work pathway, you need to see the employer who can sponsor you. Now, ideally, for an employer, they need to publicly advertise and say that yes, that kind of person is not available in New Zealand, and that's why they're hiring you. And for that visa, there's accredited employer work visa is there, where Anosh can talk about that more. But again, ideally, your pathway should be towards a study pathway, if that is a way you want to move in. Otherwise, the job pathway, you have to find a job. Anosh, you want to add into that any question?
Yeah. See, for students, accredited employer work visa, this only happens once your post-study work visa is going to get exhausted. Because on a post-study work visa, you have the right to work under any employer for there is no specific requirements to choose an accredited employer. But I will highly suggest to choose an accredited employer, because that's where you get a pathway to residence. An accredited employer can support you in terms of a lot of residence visa options. To add on to what Bharat has said with regards to accredited employer work visa, this is pretty simple. Any migrant who wants to work in New Zealand and who wants to come into work visa, they need to find an accredited employer, and accredited employer has to advertise that particular job. If it is not falling under the green list or not paid 3 times the median wage, they don't have to advertise. Otherwise, they need to advertise and then apply for a work visa. And this is pretty simple. It is not something new. This is exactly the same format which they used to do back in the old days, called essential skill work visa. Now they have replaced with accredited employer work visa, where all employers are accredited under this particular guideline.
Great. Now, guys, I'll be making sure that we do dive into all questions. So, Anush, we want to make sure that we are on track with our answers in terms of time duration. I'll manage the time here. So, Shalini, your question is that how does money transfer from India to New Zealand? There are multiple ways, Shalini. Either your bank can transfer, from bank to bank is transferred, or your money can be transferred to foreign exchange companies. Now, ideally, just to give you the perspective of this question is that, and this is for everyone, if you are applying for a student visa, you have to transfer money from the funds you have shown at the time of lodgement of visas. nobody pays the fees before the visa has been approved in principle. So compared to other countries like UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand doesn't ask for fees till then they don't approve your visa in principle, practically from the Asian countries. From certain countries, they agree to that, but not for Asian countries. And then there is the process of transferring money. The other good part is that most of the money, when you send to institution, is safe. It goes to the public trust or it goes to the university's trust account, which is actually regulated by the government regulations. Coming to questions of Samir, again, Anush, you want to type, you're welcome to type. The process of applying of dependent of student um, and has got the visa for bachelor's level. So again, Anush, you want to answer the question or you want to type the answer?
I was typing it, but I can answer it right now. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Samir, this is exactly the same situation. If the bachelor's program falls under the green list or eligible for a post-study work visa qualification, then the partner can apply for a work visa. If that particular program is not falling under that list, then we have to apply for a visitor's visa.
Great. So this is next question is from anonymous attendee that how to secure a PR after master's study in New Zealand. Now, ideally, there are multiple ways what we discuss. There are multiple categories. You need to secure certain points, which is 6, or you need to get a job which is in skill shortage or it gives an equal amount of salary. So technically, the infographic in front of you is a pathway towards the residence, what you can go through it. Now, there are multiple ways, so we will good to have a specific question to go forward. But study pathway, you reach your point, 6 points, you apply for residence path. Shalini, again, what family support will be getting after we reach? Now, technically, Shalini, from our perspective as an agency, we can only guide you. Now, in terms of family support, we can provide you support in the visas, or we can recommend you where the accommodation you can get, how to get the pickup done. If you use our services, which is a third-party services, because we don't run an accommodation or airport pickup service, we can arrange for you as a part of our the whole process we do. But then these are all external services which will be charged. So yes, we can provide, but then those services when can be offered, and we have contacts with various recruitment agencies which can support you or the family to get jobs or recommend you where schools are good or bad. Anush, you want to add any answer on this?
It's exactly the same situation. What we can support is in terms of visas, in terms of immigration. If you require further support, there are third parties in New Zealand which RBs will be engaging. That particular support will require, there is some payment which is required, but we are happy to support you in terms of, for example, if you're coming into Christchurch and ask me to, refer you to some employers, happy to do that. I always
Great.
yes, support.
Great. Now coming to Anand's question, Anand, yes, the session today is for study abroad. For working people, see Anand, again, if there is any other question like that, we can cover now is that for working people, what we suggest, the migration in New Zealand depends upon the job or you are going under the skilled migrant category where you reach the point. Now, whatever you see in front of you, if you get a job, you can follow the sector agreement or a green list pathway. Or if it's skilled migrant category, you can follow towards, again, the point-based system. Now, ideally for any migration, there is the last area which we are not covered in history is the investment migration. Now that is between 5 million and above. So 5, 15 and 25 million approach, which is a pretty decent amount to go in. But again, if you want to have a migration towards the investment category, we can talk separately on that because we have separate structures on that. Whereas Anush, on the work side, do you want to add on to that for working people?
I think Anand's question is more aligned with the different format. He doesn't want to take the study pathway and he wants to come into New Zealand on a work visa. This is also possible. I'm not going to deny it. It is possible. If you find an accredited employer in New Zealand, if they provide you with a job offer, give me a call. We can process your work visa.
Agreed. So coming down to Shalini's question, spouse job assistance, Shalini, yes, we can refer, recommend, do remember. In New Zealand, it doesn't work that we put down the name and they will hire you. There is a process. People have to follow the process. But yes, we have partnership with a lot of recruiters. We do recommend, like what Anush said also, if you're going to Christchurch, we can recommend to the employers. But do remember there are various jobs at various roles. We should be open that when we can't be picky in a lot of things. Just remember that. And anyone who moves from any country to New Zealand, you are starting from scratch. You are lucky if you're getting jobs into first month or 2 months in your relevant area. People do get it, but then give us a settlement time. It takes 2 to 3 months to understand what people want, to correct your CVs, connect to the people. So there are multiple things. Going around anonymous attendee again, how to apply a post PSW during study of masters or like after completing course. Technically, after completing of course, there is a PSW visa which you can apply yourself, or you can take the help of advisors also. But it's the straightforward visa. Anosh, you want to add on that?
Yeah, post-study work visa, if you always require a support or help, give me a call. We're happy to process post-study work visa, but being honest with you, most of the students process it by themselves. Yeah.
It's a very easy, straightforward. It's like you show the $4,200 in your account and then do it. Again, we will guide you guys with that.
Completion of your program. Completion of your program is necessary. You cannot fail for it. Once you complete the program, send the transcripts or completion of the program certificate with the bank statement proving you have enough money on the bank. Then it is a straightforward application. You should get it. Great.
So Anosh, we'll be running with the time. We have still around, if I'm not wrong, another 35 questions to go in. So this is from Sundar Khan. I've worked for 6 years as a relationship officer in the bank. Which path should I take, as trying to PR would be easy, or as a student? From my perspective, Sundar, it will be great to see the CV, but study pathway is what we're recommending. We have got a visa done for people from the banking side. Again, till the time there's no job offer letter, the study pathway is the best and easy pathway. Anosh, you want to add on to that, or you agree with that?
I think study pathway is more secure and better in terms of your career. Whatever you have done in your career so far, I think study pathway will be more beneficial.
Agreed. Again, anonymous attendee. I'm 41-year-old and I'm currently working as assistant professor in the Department of Food Technology and pursuing PhD from India. I would like to know the migration pathway to New Zealand rather than as a student migration. Is there a chance to move and work? Can you help? Now, whoever it is, if you are already a PhD or pursuing a PhD from India, I'll recommend please follow the PhD pathway. The PhD pathway, the best part is that you are allowed to work full-time while you are studying. That's again a very different to the master's or a bachelor's. You can only work 20 hours while you're studying. But PhD, if you follow the PhD route, you can work from the day one when you arrive because you are allowed to do that. Second, PhD fees is equal to the domestic fees for international student, which means that you are talking about $7,000 to $9,000, which is between 3 lakh to 4.5 lakh rupees per annum. Ideally, PhD pathway is better rather than a migration. There is no migration for becoming a faculty or anything. Most of the PhD students which are studying, they follow the faculty route and they go in. And do remember, if you go in a PhD, you are actually entering into a 6-point SMC scale, which becomes another easier. Anosh, you want to answer to that? Anything else?
I think coming into New Zealand for continuing a PhD or taking a new PhD will be better because you can work full time, and also, like I said before, 6 points.
The family,
yeah,
and it's a family migration.
Yeah.
So I think coming on to Suknoor's course, Suknoor, which will be a better course, management and accounting for masters, which university will be a good for that? Now, Suknoor, if you have done a Bachelor of Commerce, you're welcome to choose the management side, but you can also choose accounting side too. Now, depend if you have any experience. So most of the courses, what we recommend is that what experience you have, what are the outcomes of jobs here also for that, and what are the course you have done in India or your home country. It's good to go through the CV. We always suggest go for a university if your financials allow. If not, then there are polytechnics, and there are multiple polytechnics. Now, university, you ask the name, there are 8 universities. We recommend, again, all the universities are good. There is nothing bad, nothing wrong. It's a fees and it's a ranking. At the same time, what we have seen, smaller universities or some less rank university, which is in 300 or 400 rank, they give you a kind of more support, whereas you are going for a top 100 rank, there can be a less support. But it doesn't mean that you can't get outcome qualification. I think the names every university is following, offering management and accounting courses. There are 3 Triple Crown schools, or 4, which is Waikato. Then you have University of Auckland, Otago, and Canterbury. But then you have double crown schools, which is all other are double crown business schools, which is AUT, Messi, Lincoln, or Victoria. Sundar, how long it takes to get residence this category? Here you go, Anush, your answer. Quick, short
Depends on
answer.
the category which you apply. For example, if you're applying on a green list straight to residence category, the average processing time is, from my experience, it takes only 1 month, but as per immigration New Zealand, it's around 6 months. But if you're taking other categories, it can take up to maybe 8 or 9 months max.
Going down to Sundar, next question is that just to get yoga professions are applicable to do this. Yes, again, yoga, which category you're following, you can, anybody can apply for residence pathway. It's the age, the I think 55 is the
Maximum.
age, maximum age you have to apply. Before that, not after that. I'll go to Samir, PhD in physics and doing postdoc in Turkey can apply directly for PR from Nepal. Now, Samir, the question is that what and how you followed the PR from Nepal. They need to do either a college study pathway or they need to have a work pathway. So you need to see the pathway which you have to follow. Currently, in this case, I can't see the pathway you are following. Have they got a job or have they got a study pathway? Again, a PhD in New Zealand will be better pathway, easier pathway. And again, Anush, you can jump in if I have not completed the answer.
They need to secure a job offer from a New Zealand employer to go for, to talk about any pathways, basically.
I'm going to Siva Krishna's question now. I got PhD in pharmacy in University of Auckland. After my doctorate, is it necessary to have a job offer in pharmacy area to file for SMC? I believe no. I know she want to add that because you already got 6 points after you complete your PhD.
Yeah, but you still require acceptable employment.
The question is that if you reach the 6 points already, do we need still job offer? I believe because the policy says no.
Oh, she already done PhD.
No, they've got a PhD offer letter from University of Auckland. Okay. After completing PhD in New Zealand, does the person still need a job?
They can apply for SMC category. That's fine.
Agreed. Yeah. So technically you don't need it. But again, you are in pharmacy area, Siva, because I know your case have come to me from my team also. You are in an area where you have multiple options and opportunities, and I will be arranging a consultation to you. And again, for everyone, if you want to arrange a consultation to you, please email us on hello@rbsintellect.com. We will be talking to you one-to-one to discuss each and every case. So Siva, your case is very unique and very positive. The idea is that because you already have a PhD offer letter. Darshan, I know Darshan, you're raising hand from a long time. Sorry for delaying it, but we are following the itinerary or queue here. Hello, sir. I'm a Darshan from India. I'm an electrician. I have 18 years experience, so I can eligible. Now, again, Darshan, if you have a job, there are possibilities. Now, if you don't have a job, what my suggestion is that apply under a low, like it's a level 6 or level 7 qualification. There's a 2-year electrician engineering options. If you can go and follow that, it's a vocational qualification that can lead you for a jobs in New Zealand. But for becoming a registered electrician, you need to do a bachelor's or you need to complete at least 2 years of pathway to work as a kind of work with the registered electrician. So there is a multiple pathways, but study pathway, what I recommend if you don't have a job directly from New Zealand.
To be registered under EWRB.
Yeah.
To go for residence or any category. So there's 2 licenses: limited license and full license. I don't think you'll be eligible for full license, but depends. They have to assess your qualification. You have to do NSQA. It's a long process. It's easy to go for a study pathway, then work it out.
Agreed. And Darshan, again, if your experience is there, the jobs are plenty. Just to give you heads up, vocational jobs earn more money, which means an electrician can charge between $70 per hour to $125 per hour. So they are more in demand than anyone else. Sundar, Indian work experience will be considered. Yes, it is considered for your job. Depend not for your residence pathway. Do remember that.
SMC doesn't consider any overseas work experience. It used to, but they have stopped it.
Okay, I know, we will be sending the recording of the webinar, but yes, presentations, please email us. We will be working towards sharing the presentation, but do remember that, guys, we want to make sure that skill again category to be talked by licensed advisor only, but yes, we will be sharing as per request. Mithun Anthony, healthcare management programs that pave way to PR, kindly suggest. There are multiple options, nursing, you have a care worker options, but again, you need a job for that. You have a physiotherapist, depend which area. Healthcare is again a broad term. There are 100 plus programs. So if you, Mithun, if you have your CV, please share with us on email. We can recommend you which course is good for you or which are the options available for you. Or please approach us for the consultation. Anonymous attendees, can bachelor student with retired parents go with parent as she is the only child? See, thank you for this question. Again, parents can only travel on a visitor visa. Yes, they are allowed to do that. They can travel. They get, I think, Anush, correct me, it's 18 months maximum visa. They get it. The parent.
At a time, it's 6 months, but they can again extend for another 3 months, which is a total of 9 months.
Yeah.
But they have to, after 9 months, they need to exit New Zealand.
So I correct myself is that they can stay up to 9 months, but they can get a multiple entry visa.
18
But
months
they have
is
to
for
exit.
different citizens. Their parents again come into New Zealand for 18 months visit in 3 years.
Great.
Yeah.
So that's one rule. So yes, again, your parents can come again. They can come on visitor. The only option of getting parents migrated after you get your residency sorted. So traveling of parents, no problem. You have to get your insurance. You have to get everything done before you move on those kind. But yes, they can travel, and people do that. Sugnur again, which is the best course to study, best employability and the future permanent settlement? Again, Sugnur, there is no best. Every course can give you outcome and employability if you are a good. We normally recommend follow your current career pathway. If you are a +2 student, again, you have done science, maths, or art stream, there are multiple options available. We'll recommend, again, we happy to do a consultation with our team, but then we always recommend follow your passion, follow what you can do right. I don't recommend people from commerce going towards a course which you don't like. Simple as that. Is that correct, Anosh, or any suggestion on this too?
Absolutely. Every time just follow your dreams. It will take you to the right place.
Again, Seva question, how to get a job offer from an accredited employer? Are there any jobs consultants in New Zealand or will you provide job assistance? Do you have MOU with accredited employers in New Zealand? Now, if you're asking about after study, yes, we have partnership with various recruitment companies. Now, do remember that there are job sites, and I'll be adding job sites in this chat box also, which is seek.co.nz and there's a trademe.co.nz. Please go to those job sites. There are options. All the employers advertising there. I believe 99% currently people are accredited employer. They can't hire a migrant without if they're not accredited. But yes, we don't provide jobs from ourselves. There are employers and there are recruitment companies who help. I'm not sure to answer anything on this.
That's a very big question to really answer to. We can always suggest a couple of accredited employer which falls under your particular employment or recruitment consultancies in New Zealand. But getting a job is up to you. You have to perform
Great.
well on the interview. Your skills has to match their requirements. If everything works well, you'll get a job.
Thank you. Sundarya, again, do I get one-to-one counseling after the webinar? Yes, Sundarya, please email us with your CV and your academics if you can. Otherwise, at least we need a contact detail so that our team can reach you out. We have around 20 team members across country. They can arrange a Zoom session with you or a phone call with you. Again, even to visit local office, but again, we don't have a local office in every location, but yes, there are opportunities for you. Shalini's salary of both be combined at the time of job offer? I think I don't understand the question. Or for time for a PR. There is no salary requirement for PR, Shalini. And again, we can't combine husband and wife salary if that's the question. But it'll be great to have a detailed question.
I think what she was asking was, a lot of Indians use a term PR for residence visa. So PR is different, residence visa is different. So it is because they are used to this Canadian format, which is permanent residence.
Yeah, the question is that we can't combine salaries of both.
What she was asking is, can husband and wife combine the salary and meet 1.5 times, or then go for residence? No, you need to have the right wage to go for residence.
Okay, so question from Arifur is that how much tuition fee deposit student have to pay to be eligible for the visa application? Now, tuition fees is only paid after approval. So for lodgement of visas, there is no tuition fees to be paid. You only pay the visa fees, which is currently 430 New Zealand dollars, approximately around 25,000 rupees. Or I think in Taka, it will be around, I believe Arifur is from Bangladesh, and that will be multiplied by 80 or 100 if I'm not wrong. So it should be around 430,000 takas, if I'm not wrong. But correct me. If, sorry, 43,000 taka. Celestial, about child of a student. When a child attains the age of 5, he or she should come to visit in a visit visa or then try for school admission. Again, I know you're welcome to answer, otherwise I can answer.
I cannot see that question.
Okay, so I can do it. So, it's under Celestial. So, Celestial, the answer is that when the child attains the age of 5, he or she should come in a visit visa. At the age of 5, you can apply for a study option for a
Okay.
child, because
Yeah.
they can go to school after age of 5. Below age of 5, you are into a Montessori or early childhood area where it is not funded for complete option. But then after age of 5, you can go to year 0 or year 1 in New Zealand, which is a primary school. That's the funded, and you can apply for study visa for kids.
Yeah.
What do you, Anush? Is that correct?
Even if it's 4.5 years old, you can still go for dependent child student visa application, because she's going to turn 5 in a couple of months. That's okay.
Great. Thank you for that. This is anonymous attendee. I'm a human resource. Should NZ be choice to immigrate? It makes me feel that list caters to selected occupation. Can you throw me some light on those occupations which are not the not popular? Now, for everyone, guys, the list was only green list. The other areas are skilled migrant category. So I will very openly say that New Zealand have jobs for everyone. New Zealand have courses for everyone. Now, green list is only where there is a demand because we can't fulfill in-house. But it doesn't mean, and I can really give you 50% of the courses or occupations are into business and relevant areas. So which means that you still have a job. And if you come in for a master's qualification, you still can follow SMC category, which can follow your pathway towards the residence. But again, I've given a job site. Please go to that. You can find HR jobs, and I believe there are a lot of HR options. But at the same time, you can always see the relevant areas of HR. HR can dive into multiple things if you want. Again, don't put into one case. You can broaden your area. Again, from anonymous, can a dependent apply at the same time? Over to you, Anosh. Can I believe no?
Yes.
But again, yes.
Well, you can. If you're applying for a student visa, you can also apply for your dependent partner's work visa and also student visa. But there is a risk. If your student visa get rejected, then the entire application also will be rejected.
So our recommendation is that other than the AIP comes in, you apply. Your path or visa comes in, you apply for your dependent visa. But then again, the choice. But just remember that sometimes, guys, you don't end up traveling together because dependent visa can take between 1 to 2 months. Is that correct, Anosh? That will not come in few days.
No, it takes some time. So I will always suggest to take your time. You're migrating to another country. It's not like flying for holiday, so it takes time. So make sure you prepare it a bit more in a way that first you might need to arrive, then your family will come later. Yeah, so we can apply together, but at your own risk. The entire application can get rejected.
Great. Jeet, pretty good question on that. If you have got the rejection. See, we will only update you that how good your second application will be, because we need to see the visa and refusal. So please, I will recommend go for a individual consultation. Send your rejection letter with the academic documents. We need to know what are the rejection, what are the reason for rejection, and if again there is a chance, our team will tell you what are the chances and how it will do. We have cases where we have seen rejection, where from Canada, Australia, or New Zealand. It is just we need to see that how and what you have got in the past. But yes, visas can come through even you have got a rejection in past, depend upon the reason of rejection. Anosh, your comment.
Absolutely. We need to look at the refusal letter. Basically, we need to look at what are the concerns raised by the officer before for rejecting your application. then we'll work on it and see if there is an option for reapplication. You can apply, so technically you can reapply a million times. That's okay, but we'll let you know if there is any chance of getting a success on that particular application. We cannot guarantee it, but we can have a look at it and let you know.
But guys, just to update, even for us, we have to maintain our approval rate. We can't, we don't like to take rejection. Second, yes, we do get rejections too, but at the same time, we want to make sure that we want to see what and how the rejections are happen. But yes, even for our approval rate, we are sitting on a very high approval rate currently. But then at the same time, yes, rejections depend on multiple things. I'm going to Anosha's question. I'm Anosha, working as a physiotherapist. I'm registered with the Physiotherapy Board of New Zealand. Plan to move to New Zealand. Can you guide me regarding this? Completed my master's in physiotherapy.
I can answer that. I'm
Go
just
ahead. Go ahead.
processing similar applications. Right. So Anushka, yes, absolutely.
Anusha.
Anusha, yes.
Anusha.
We can apply for straight to residence from wherever you are. Contact me to process that application. If you have an overall 6.5 on IELTS, you don't even have to apply for a work visa. Let's process your straight to residence application.
Great. Well, that's a good outcome. Anything else, Anosha, want to add that? Yeah, again, Anosha, you please email us. We'll introduce you Anosh. That's not a problem. Send us the details, your registration plus the other documents. We will send email. Our team will introduce you to Anosh. Thank you. Celestial, is there any criteria to be met with for getting a partner of a master student work visa? You need to get your visa, if I'm correct. If you're doing a master's course, after you get your visa, you apply the work visa for your partner. That's simple. There is no particular criteria on that.
There is one criteria. There's one.
Married.
Financial side, you need to have $4,200 for the partner to be qualified for that particular application. Also, you need to prove to Immigration New Zealand that you are actually living together. For example, if you just married, can't do. And if you don't have living together evidence, or you've been living in two different houses, two different residents, can't do. Right. So that's something which we'll look into. Once you get your student visa, I'll be able to help that application.
Technically, my only thing was that no academic criteria is there. It is just, the criteria towards lodgement of visas are there. Yes, totally agreed. Thank you very much, Anosha. Again, Siva, it looks like three people have been asking a lot of questions, guys. We need to make sure everyone else have to get chance, and I'll be very happy. This is, I think we have done Siva. Only after post-study work permit period, one can get a job with an employer and then can go for SMC, or we can apply for between post-study work period. Yes, I think as and when you finish your course, you get your post-study. If your job is ready, as and when you finish the course, apply for SMC category. But again, do remember that you need to meet the 6 points. If you're not meeting 6 points, or you are not falling in any other category, then yes, it's a very different ballgame. Is that correct, Anush? They need to meet a criteria. Anusha, is there any age limit of admission for a PhD, and what's the university fee? Then I think, Anusha, if you are already a physiotherapist and if you got I think Anusha's answered you.
I just share the same physiotherapist who has a registration and a job offer.
But age is 55, is that correct?
Yeah.
Limit, maximum limit should be there, Anusha.
But there is a straight residence pathway.
And Anusha, for physiotherapy, I think I have some employers I can recommend you. As and when you get your pathway towards residence with Anush. Great.
I think Anusha already has a job offer. Is that correct?
No, she said that she has a SMC. She has got a physiotherapy board registration only, but they don't have a job offer yet.
You should, apply after Christmas. You'll get it.
Okay, done. Coming down to what is the duration of master's student visa processing time in a university? Now, student visa can take between 30 working days to 60 working days. Again, if you're looking for February intake, we recommend it's a bit late, but again, you can still apply. There are some March and April intakes also. Otherwise, there's a July intake. But then do remember the processing of documents before lodgement takes a time. So we, again, Celestial, we need to know your case. The more, if you can send a detailed email to our team or at hello Intellect, we will help you with that. There's not an issue. Sahil Mehra, I'm a master's and working as a digital marketing consultant and have 2.5 years of experience in marketing. Can I apply a employer work visa through AEW, provide accommodation and food? Now, yes, if you have a job offer letter, you can apply it. If you don't have job offer letter, uh, you need to go through other pathways. Now, accredited employees depend upon what they're offering you. They don't offer accommodation and food if you are not in a hospitality industry. I've only seen in hospitality industry about those options. But then AEW visa is someone offering you a job. Is that correct, Anosh? Anything you want to add on this?
Once Sahil receives an employment offer from an accredited employer, we can process the work visa. And a lot of employers doesn't provide accommodation or food, but they'll have to provide you a decent wage to bring you into New Zealand. For example, you need to be paid at median wage, which is 29.66.
Good. So coming on the job, what level of just from Suknoor, what level of job is eligible for PR? Again, in that course. So again, if you're doing a master's course, there are multiple job outcomes. If you again the work and the employer, again this is a very broad question. Again, what kind of job? There are multiple jobs. So the job level can be uh, at a manager level or a kind of a management level, or can be an accountant level because you ask for accounting. If you're becoming an accounting job, there are accounting executive jobs are there. So there are requirements of certain salaries or points. So it has to be very dependent on what they're offering you. Unless you want to add on this, any particular salary level or job level?
It depends on the category which they're applying. We cannot really comment on it unless we have more details in place. But usually you need to be employed at median wage to process any types of applications.
Great. So coming on the Yash, you're applying for level 7 graduate diploma, say in hotel management. How should I plan for my PR? Yash, again, graduate diploma, hotel management, just giving up. There's no post any work, right? What I understand. Um, you need to do a pathway towards you need to either get a job after that course, which will be employer sponsored. Then it's the accredited employer work visa, which can go up to 5 years of work. Now, if you reach your point by that time, I believe you are working for 4 years of training or working, there are multiple ways to get the points around that. Now, you have multiple options, but not a post-study work visa option if you're going for a graduate diploma course in hotel management. But then there are multiple paths of PR depend upon you get a job. Is that correct? Anush, you want to answer on that too?
That's correct. Level 7 graduate diploma in hotel management doesn't have a post-study work rights. So he
Great.
needs to find an employment or study a master's program.
Great. We are not Kritika. How much is the expense of study masters and bachelors in India? Kritika or Kartika? Sorry, my bad. Kartika, bachelors can start from $19,000 per annum. Masters can start from $30,000 for a full course of one year or 15 months. Range can go up to 100,000, depend which masters and bachelors you're doing. If you do a civil aviation or a pilot, it can go up to $200,000. If you're going for a medical, it can go up to $500,000 for 6 years of medicine. So I think it's a range. But yeah, we a lot of average is $50,000 to $70,000 for bachelors, or sorry, $90,000 for bachelors, and masters $30,000 to $50,000 as an average going in. Sundar, hello sir, I'm banking professional with 5 year experience. I think to you support in getting job, we can only recommend you to the recruiters. Again, if you are studying in New Zealand, there are multiple campus recruitments are there. But again, not from offshore. We don't help any jobs from offshore. Kartika, again, if I have a work experience in the care worker field, have certificates of care worker, shall I study for a master's there or can directly apply for a work visa? Anush, you want to add on this? It's your
No,
play
you
area.
can't. If you are a care worker, you need to be in New Zealand, employed at level 4 rate for 24 months to go for residence.
Great. Otherwise, again, depend on the background. Please send your CV. We can again go into a detailed look before that. I can't answer everything here, but it will be good to see the background. Suknoor, what is the job market condition and master graduates, management accounting? Suknoor, the current job market, it's around 4% unemployment rate, which is very low compared to an OECD country. Again, a lot of job depend upon the person also. If you are able to deliver the outcome, if you're a good presentation and conference, because there are jobs. We do see people coming for jobs in various fields. And again, you're not getting a visa for certain city. Please go to the job site on Seek, which I've shared on the chat box. There are multiple options. Again, we always say, if you're good, you have a job option available, and employers want good people who can support it. Ajit, apply in Aspire to International College and course in New Zealand, diploma IT level 5. Ajit, the course doesn't give you any post-study work, right? My suggestion, if you have IELTS of 6 band, go for a bachelor's. Ajit, please share your CV. Now, giving a background, guys, I was a director at Aspire to International before I started RBS. So I know the institution very well. I know the outcome. But again, currently your level 5 course doesn't give you post-study work, right? And you're going for a diploma, D2D, diploma or degree, please follow a bachelor pathway if you can. If you're IELTS is 6 band, otherwise 5.5, you need to study bachelor's after that. Sundar, we answered a lot of your questions. I don't know how many questions I have to answer, but we'll try to answer. What are the basic requirements for taking PhD in that? See, please, we can send you the links. Please email us. There are requirements. It often takes between 6 to 9 months. You need to, for a PhD, you need to choose your supervisor. You have to send your synopsis. It can take some time. I only suggest follow the pathway of PhD or research happening in that university. If your topic is relevant to the topic which is going on, it's easier to get. If you're putting a new topic, it takes some time. My spouse in pharma lecturer in 5 years. It's possible to get her PR in NZ. Anosh, pharma lecturers, technically no, but again, depend upon if you're registered with Pharmaceutical Society in New Zealand or Pharmacy Council, there might be different options.
Again, there is two pathways there. One is you need to be registered under the pharmacist board. That's one pathway. Other one is you can be a teacher. You can study masters in adult teaching or teaching programs to be a teacher in New Zealand, then apply for residence under that particular category. But there is no direct residence category once she is in New Zealand, unfortunately.
Great. So coming down to anonymous, PR points required to master student in psychology. How good are the prospective masters in psychology? Again, there are jobs in psychology. We have seen there are, again, PR points is STEM6 under SMC category, 5+1. Applied psychology courses at University of Waikato will be great. Again, a team can help. We have done multiple cases. There are opportunities around that. Please, email us. Our team can get in touch with you and we'll support you on that. Keshav, I know Bharat, as an mighty worker, I receive an offer from another New Zealand company, then they will take care of the visa application procedure, or you guys will assist with. Yes, if you have a work visa offer, Anosh can assist with that. Is that correct, Anosh?
That's correct. Once they have a visa or a job offer from an accredited employer, happy to support.
I have given one job work site, the name is Seek. I'll give the trade me also. There are a couple of sites, but again, it's only 40% jobs goes live. 80% or 60% jobs are through references. So a lot of time you have to create a network and references for that too. But yes, sure. Sundara, again, please share an official email ID or contact number of the Connect. I'll go to the sheet. So guys, please, if you go on the slide, there are email IDs, which is oop@rbsintellect.com or hello@rbsintellect.com. I'll say just email at hello@rbs. I've added that into the chat box. Sami, after student visa approved, is the time duration to apply for dependent visa in bachelor level? Example, who has done PCL nursing from Nepal, she's applied diploma or bachelor course and the time frame to dependent application. Anosh, bachelor nursing or diploma, I believe they can't apply for dependent visa.
No, the problem with bachelors of nursing is they cannot support their partner, even though they are in the green list, but there is that particular program is not listed on the green list. So they can't support the partner, but they can come on a visitor's visa. And or when she goes for a post-study work visa, we can support the partner at that time.
So Samir, I can add that also. If somebody has done a bachelor's of nursing or equivalent, there are masters of nursing options also in New Zealand. Those masters of nursing can get spouse post-study work or work visa, and these masters of nursing are 2-year qualification. These are called nursing practice or applied nursing options. So it'll be great to see those options if somebody has not applied yet. So does the job have to be in the same field as the studies, or job offer will be, or any job offer will be eligible? Anosh, for that one extra point.
A job offer which falls on, it has to be a skilled employment. You cannot basically work at a warehouse and then apply for residence. It needs to be a skilled employment, and also you need to be suitably qualified for that particular employment. For example, if you're doing a master's program in IT, you need to have an employment from IT or some skilled employment which relates to IT.
Great. So technically, it should be in the similar field. Is that correct?
Yeah, it has to. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense for that particular skill category.
Agreed. So Anush, there's a link to the skill category details and all. Will you like to share that on the chat box if you can?
I can share it, but this is a new policy which has just been announced, and it is actually been actioned, but Immigration New Zealand is yet to provide a lot of information. For example, the operation manual is not updated yet. They are targeting to update on March or April, but I can provide a link to Immigration New Zealand website which you can read all those details.
Great, thank you very much.
On the chat.
Yeah, if you can put it on the chat, it'll be great. RF4 candidate have lived 11 to 12 years in UK, tried for ILR there, and was not successful. Now he is a professional education specialist, any pathways of education or migration. Now, RF4, if they have registered in as a teacher in UK, we'll suggest to check with the teaching council. We can send the link. There are certain areas where the exemption is there. If you have already registered in 5 countries or 6 countries, you may not need to study anything, and you can follow the migration pathway. But again, great if you can email us the details. We'll help you without that, because they should be a registered teacher in UK if they have gone through it. But again, it need to do and deep dive into the case. There are certain options which can be available. Anonymous attendee, again, thank you team for the wonderful webinar. More thanks to Anosh sir, very impressive. Very much thankful RBS team. Thank you guys. It's just simple questions are there. We will not get any job support from your end. See, Keshav, we are a recruitment company. We do support. We have partnerships. Again, we can't support everyone a job if your criteria are not met. So if you can share your CV, if something we can send to our recruitment partners, we can do that. But as and when you get a job or you finish your study in New Zealand, with the university or with the recruitment companies, there are a lot of career support provided. So again, we don't provide a lot of work support or job support directly. More about education pathway is what we follow and we recommend. Job support is more, we recommend please go online and see what options are available for you. Again, IT employees, guys, remember that IT employees are using global employee base also. So make sure that it's good to apply directly, or otherwise follow the IT pathway when you are here. There is a shortage, but again, IT depend upon the employer, how good you are and what you want to offer. Again, my spouse is a farmer lecturer, 5 years. We have covered this question already. Anosha, again, I will reconnect with you. Yes, this is the email ID. Thank you, Anosha, for that. Prabhjit Singh, can you please tell me student application file lodgement fee in NZ Consultant? See, Prabhjit, from RBS team, we don't charge anything for student visa lodgement. The charges are only for the spouse dependent visas or other visas. For student visa lodgement, RBS is not charging anything. I know people ask us why we don't charge. Guys, we are welcome to charge, but we don't recommend to charge. One thing we do, there is no charge required because we are supported by universities and institutions. And again, like I said, I don't recommend there is a need of charge. A lot of agencies are charging. We don't do that. Simple. Again, we've been told, Bharat, you start charging. I said, no, not yet. We don't need to charge because services are good enough, what we do. I'm in India. I'm applied for diploma in healthcare, but consultant in India asking to pay 8,000 for filing charges. Sorry, we will not recommend. Again, which consultant you're filing, Prabhjit, again. If you lodge your file through RBS, there is no charge for study visa. Again, I'm repeating. You have to only pay the visa fees, which is 430 New Zealand dollar or $25,000, 25,000 rupees, which we recommend if you know. Again, we don't want to share the cards and all, but again, we don't charge a single dollar for a student visa. Remember that again. So somebody's charging, please check study visa. There is no suggestion of, there is no recommendation and suggestion of charging fees. And again, Anush, I believe, I know the licensed advisor have a different option, but study visa, there is no charge. Is that correct?
If you want to process your student visa through a licensed advisor, we definitely do charge for that particular application. I do charge for my time, but what I understand is a lot of educational consultants based in India doesn't charge you. And Bharat, for example, he does it for free of cost because they all get paid from institutions.
Yeah, and again, it's exempted sector. So, example, remember, if you're going to LI, sorry, again, I know. So there are ways. So a student visa is exempted from the licensed immigration advice, so we don't charge. Again, sorry guys, and thank you for asking question, Prabhjeet. They've been asked many of times, and I think I should start charging that, make it easier rather than doing for free, but it's free for now. My visa rejection reason was I don't have sufficient knowledge about my course, and second, it's interview rejection, what I see. Again, Arjit, please send an email. We will try to connect with you and see. It's interview rejection. We know sometimes it's nervousness and a lot of things, but interviews do come, 40%, 50%. But again, you need to be ready for that. But let's see. We need to see the full rejection and the documentation. Thank you again. Is anyone applied for asylum from UK, US? Would be able to apply? No. RFO, we don't recommend that for asylum. Options, again, I don't know. I don't suggest anybody to go that route or follow the PR pathways. There are limited quotas on that for New Zealand. Anush, any answer on that? I believe no. Nothing on the asylum category.
This question is a bit different. What he is asking is someone who has applied for asylum in UK or USA would be able to get PR in New Zealand. Well, we need to look at the file. We need to see why he has applied for asylum. There are a lot of things which we need to assess before commenting on it. Definitely, it is a matter of question. If this person wants to come into New Zealand on a student visa, Immigration New Zealand will be looking at all those details, why he has applied as an asylum, because asylum or this particular area of applications are done when you are going to be an overstay in that particular country, which means you're not going to leave that country, which is a risk in terms of Immigration New Zealand. But I cannot comment on it until and unless I see the situation in detail.
Okay, I think from our end, we sort of say that, guys, it's again not a positive profile from our end, but you're welcome to send it. I will send the details to Anush. It will be helpful. Again, thank you, everyone. I think we have covered all the questions. Thank you, everyone, for being on this session. Appreciate. Thank you, Anush, for giving your precious 1.5 hours. Appreciate it. And again, we look forward to connecting with everyone, guys. Please do email us if you want, and we'll be hosting more webinars in coming weeks. So every 2 weeks, we try to host a webinar. We have certain good course-specific webinars coming up. But thank you, everyone. Thank you, Anush, again. And look forward to connecting with you, everyone. Have a good day and have a great evening.
Thank you. Bye-bye.